Hello guys, Yuvraj here from the Brainstorm Force team, makers of the Astra theme for WordPress and some amazing other WordPress products which you probably already know about. And if you've been subscribed to the channel for some time now, you might have noticed that we recently released a couple of videos showing some love to Elementor and Beaver Builder, both the page builders, by releasing some interesting, beautiful new starter templates for both of these page builders. And after watching those videos, some of you did ask us that why are we ignoring Gutenberg? Gutenberg is the future of WordPress, right? Why aren't we releasing new templates for Gutenberg? To answer that question, we are consistently making templates for Gutenberg or the block editor. We just didn't make a video about it. That's on me, and that's why this video is being made. And in this video, I'm going to show you 3 beautiful new starter templates that we released for Gutenberg or the block editor. That means no other plugins, no page builders required. Just install them on your site and your website is completely ready. And I'm going to show you all the good stuff, what's great about these templates. So let's head to my computer and we'll start with the good stuff with the video. See you there. Alright guys, this is one of the templates we'll be looking at, and just to give you an idea of what the template looks like, the template or the theme of the template is actually a musical instrument maker, and the theme that we've chosen for the demonstration is a guitar manufacturer. So you have a beautiful looking guitar and all the beautiful white space here, but you can use this template for other kind of musical instrument manufacturing as well. If you are a manufacturer or you're creating a website for a manufacturer, maybe violins, maybe drum sets, maybe capellas, or any kind of manufacturing or for any kind of instruments. And also you can use it for your band website. Maybe you also want to create a website for instruments that you repair, or maybe you restore old instruments, or even you sell instruments. So this template is actually pretty much a beautiful design template that you can use. And personally, I am a big fan of rock and roll, hard rock and metal. So this is a perfect theme for me, at least if I start my own website and I just listen to Metallica in my spare time. This is exactly how I feel. And if you have a specific genre of music that you really enjoy, make sure to leave that in the comments, or just name your favorite artist. I'd love to get to know you better on what kind of music do you listen to. So talking about the template, let's quickly run down. The entire theme is more like a black and white appeal, or most of the template is for a black and white, or the theme is designed around a black and white template. It just gives a unique look to the template. So coming right here, we have a hero image. We have what kind of brand you have. Maybe you sell it under your own brand and you want to show off some products here, and also what kind of people or artists actually use instruments. So you have an image right here. So beautiful looking section. Then you have a section for your story, because every brand needs an important backstory to make it unique and stand out from the other brands. So this is where you highlight your story. Maybe if you are the founder, you just place your image there. Or if you have a really strong lineage of founders, then you can mention about who started the brand. And a beautiful looking template right here where you can highlight what the story is, maybe what the philosophy behind starting the brand was. And coming right here, we have a beautiful image of the instrument being made in action, which you can definitely replace with your own image. And then coming right here, you maybe talk about what's unique about your manufacturing process, or what's unique about your instrument in general, why people should recommend or buy your instruments. And coming here, we have a section for collections. Maybe you have different kinds of instruments. For example, guitars have acoustic guitars, electric guitars, we have basses. So this is a section where you can talk about this or highlight those, and also have a button for going to collections specifically, where you talk about any one of those sections or one of these instrument types. And then you have one of the, I would say, most important sections right here, where you have an artist's quote. So definitely, if you're making musical instruments, then some artists or some more, I would say a lot of artists would be using your instruments. Then you have the option of highlighting maybe some quotes from a popular musician, and just placing this right here, so that people can or who are just discovering your brand for the first time know which artists actually use your brand or your brand of musical instruments products. And again, you have options to highlight more featured artists as well. And definitely this is something you should be looking at. And if you didn't know, a lot of brands, I'd say especially guitar brands, do this a lot. Let me give you a quick example. This is ESP, which is one of the most, I'd say, recognized brands in the world when it comes to metal and rock guitar. And they have a complete dedicated section for signature series of guitars. And they make signature guitars for a lot of different artists around the world. You have Alexi Leo, who's from Children of Bodom, and rest in peace. And you have a lot of different brands. Also, Metallica uses ESP. I remember James Hetfield uses Metallica. Kirk Hammett uses Metallica, or uses ESP guitars. So this is something that you can definitely replicate on your website if you're building or creating any kind of specific music instruments. Then you have an option for people to ask to subscribe to your email list. I shouldn't have to regurgitate or shouldn't have to tell you how important an email list is. So definitely make sure to use this to the best of your advantage. Then you have social icons so that people can actually follow you on social media. Then you have the footer. and you can modify this content. And definitely, just to give you one more understanding, the themes, typography, colors, and even the layout can be completely customized with the Gutenberg or the block editor, which the template is being built on. So you don't have to use any of the page builders. And talking specifically about the header and footer, this can be customized with the Astra's header and footer builder. So you have the complete option of placing the logo in the center, maybe add a search box here, maybe you want this to appear on a second line. Everything is possible with Astra and starter templates and the Gutenberg or the block editor. You don't have to install any page builder. Similar story for the footer. You can change everything here and maybe change the content around, maybe change anything or add something else if you want to display it in the footer. So all that is possible. This is completely customizable according to your needs. So talking about the other pages on the site, you have the homepage, and homepage does a great job. It drives the most important points in a simple and I'd say straightforward manner. You have your brand, what kind of instruments you make, what's your story, manufacturing process, what's great about that, kind of instruments you make, what are the most famous artists using instruments, and then placed for people to follow you. So all the important points on one single page. But also let's look at some other pages. Let's look at the guitars page, and of course, this will be your instruments page or different kind of instruments. Maybe you have violins or you make any other instrument, then you can just highlight this or create this page or modify it according to needs. So in this demonstration, we've demonstrated the acoustic guitar, the electric guitar, and basses. So you have a beautiful looking page here, and then you can talk about different kinds of methodologies you use to maybe create those products. And even if you have a different series of guitars, for example, we have just demonstrated different kinds of finishes for the woods for acoustic guitars. We have studio walnut, we have rosewood, which is again a beautiful looking, or I say beautiful wood to use for the neck of a guitar. And then you have mahogany, and same story for electric guitars. You have different series, and what a beautiful looking guitar this is. And even this one just looks amazing to me. So you can add a section completely here for any kind of instrument you make. And definitely if you have more series, then you can add one more section or add multiple sections depending on how many guitars or depending on how many musical instruments you make. Again, we have a section for basses. We have a 4-string, and this is a 5-string bass. And you can replicate this or maybe reduce the number of sections if you don't make this many series of musical instruments. And again, we have the section highlighting the featured artists, and then people for the call to action for people to subscribe and follow you on social media. So this is the guitars page, or I'd say the instruments page, if you decide to use this template for yourself. And coming to the artist page, I already showed you how this is very important for brand recognition if famous artists use your products, and that's just social proof times 1,000. So definitely use this page to your advantage. So you have a featured artist section where you can talk about maybe a specific artist who's just released an album, or maybe they're really famous, you want to highlight them. So this is the section where you just place the name and maybe their social media handles, and also option for playing a video. So a lot of times, I'd say most of the times, bands or any kind of famous bands release their albums on video platforms as well, or at least sneak peeks of their videos on YouTube and other platforms. So you can embed those sections here as well. And if they're playing live, if they're playing with your brand's instruments, that's great social proof for you. So make sure to add that. Oops, sorry, I just clicked and dragged my mouse accidentally. Just ignore that. And coming to the featured artist section, now here you will talk about the other artists that are also important. Of course, if you make any kind of instrument, you will have thousands of people using your instruments, or millions of people and around the world using your instruments. And maybe you have few hundred or maybe thousands of artists who are really popular and well known. So you want to add those sections right here. And again, you can talk about the artist, add their social media handles, and include beautiful looking images of the artist as well as of them using your instrument, which is also obviously important to you. And again, we have an interesting looking design right here, so that the design feels more dynamic instead of just static content. And then again, you have a call to action for people to follow you and also to join your email list. So this is the second page, or I say third page, the artist page. Let's also talk about a story. Now, for any kind of brand or any brand to be recognizable, to have a great connect with an audience, it needs a great story. If you play the guitar and you have a guitar, maybe you have a bass from a brand, maybe from Fender, maybe from ESP, or maybe from Jackson, you probably know something about the brand, or at least connect with some of the artists that use that instrument to play some of their iconic songs or music that really connects with you. And this is a great page to highlight exactly that. You can talk about your story, how you got started, and what you've been doing, what is the history of your brand, and how you got started, and how your brand has evolved over time to reach the stages or reach the position that it is in today. And in the simplest of words, this is a great place to highlight your brand story and even sometimes if it's a very small homegrown brand, then also the story of the founder. And definitely you have options to maybe just mention a quote from one of the founders or one of the people who's currently leading the company. If it's a multi-generational firm, then this is where you can do that. And again, story numbers, simple point, highlighting your story in simple numbers. How many employees do you have? How many stores do you have? Where you were founded? And maybe also talk about how many instruments you've produced over time. And again, a beautiful image of instrument being made in action. And again, you have more sections to highlight more of the detail. Again, this section can be used to highlight your unique manufacturing process, or if it's handmade, any kind of special treatment that you do with your instruments, you can highlight it here. And again, you have section, one of the most important sections is founding fathers. If you have a long heritage of really popular, or I say not even popular, really important people who have made a difference in your organization, in the kind of instruments you produce, this is a great place to highlight all that and talk about them and just give them or show them some legacy right here. And again, you have the call to action, and again, call to action for email subscriber or gaining email subscribers, and also I'd say encouraging people to follow you on social media. So this is our story page. Let's also look at the contact page, because this might be a really important page. Now you might be a music manufacturer. In that case, you might be getting a bulk order. Maybe a brand wants to, or maybe an artist wants to collaborate with you. Maybe a band wants to collaborate with you. This is a great place where they can get in touch with you. So you have beautiful typography right here. You have contact us, you have the address, you have phone number, email address, social media handles, and then you have a form built in so that people don't have to actually just go out and find this information. If they just want to send you a message, they have the option to do so right here. And again, just going with the exact color scheme, we have a nice gray and black and white theme. So you have the form inbuilt right here where people can just leave in their message and send. Just click this button and it'll be able to communicate with you, and then you can get in touch if you feel that it's a great, or even if it's a customer inquiring for a product, then you can definitely get in touch with them. And again, you have the call to action for email subscription list, and I'd say the social media handles. So this is, I'd say, a very clean and straightforward design, and it gets the job done, and it's beautiful. It has some unique look, I'd say. There's a beautiful use of white space in the entire template, and with minimal of colors, the instrument and the bands, and I'd say the most important areas have been highlighted the best. For example, if you are a brand, everything is in black and white, but on your manufacturing process is in color. This is a way to just show off that, okay, this is your unique selling point. And maybe you have beautiful artists that work for you or work with you, then you can highlight their stories as well. So a beautiful looking template, and let's start talking about the next one. The next template that we'll be looking at is the injury and accident lawyers template. Let me just give you a quick demonstration or rundown of how the template is designed, and then we'll talk about specifics or how it is designed or what the philosophy behind the design was. Now, technically, this template is designed for injury and personal accident lawyers, personal injury lawyers, but you can customize this to be for any kind of law firm if you desire, if that's the goal. But the content, or I'd say the design in particular, is most suitable for personal injury lawyers. So let's talk about, first of all, what a personal injury lawyer does. Obviously, you know what they do, but in terms of what is required, or what's the most important piece of content, or what is the most important things that they want to address. Now, lawyers, or even personal injury lawyers, being a lawyer, and specifically if you want to gain customers over on the internet through a website, it's a very competitive field. If you already didn't know that, it doesn't matter if you're looking at SEO, if you're looking at PPC or paid ads, the cost to acquire one customer are very expensive, or it's very expensive to acquire customers. So what do you want to do? You want your website to be really high impact, beautiful, and definitely high converting. That means whatever message you want to say, whatever kind of work you do, it should be very clear on the website. And that's what the design team has achieved right here with this template. So first of all, was simple. I say, coming to the homepage, you have two big call to actions. You have Get Help Now, which is one call to action. You have big call to action with a phone number right here for free consultation. This is very important for any kind of law website, because you want your customers to get in touch with you as soon as possible. You want to remove all the barriers of friction between you and your potential customer. So now you have a beautiful picture right here, two lawyers from the law firm, but definitely there are options to include more attorneys with this attorney page, which we'll talk about. And now you have a big heading right here, personal injury and accident lawyers in Nevada. This is important because people who usually like to, hire firms in that operate in a particular geographic location because of the laws or difference in laws. So this is a great headline to highlight what areas do you work in. And one of the most important things is right here, $2 billion gross recovery since 1982. Now, this is very important because you want your lawyers to be very effective, because if you've been in a personal injury, you've gotten an injury, maybe you were in an accident, you want to be compensated the maximum amount of money which you potentially have lost. And this just shows that, okay, these lawyers are really effective if they've recovered this amount of money from maybe from other person or maybe a company or corporation. This is really important. So coming or scrolling down, again, we highlight the biggest important piece of information which can help the customers trust you as a lawyer with the amount of money you've recovered. And definitely, if you want to maybe highlight something else, maybe you want to highlight how many patients or how many customers you worked with, maybe the kind of specialization you have. This is just a beautiful looking area where you can highlight anything. And coming down here, you have the About Us section, because again, you've told the customers, potential customers, how much money you recovered, but now it's time to talk about yourself. And look at this scary dude. If he was or I was up against him, I'd be really scared to fight as a lawyer against him. Just kidding. But beautiful picture right here, and you can talk about, maybe you have the senior partner here, and you can talk about who you are, what you do, how you got started. And maybe if you want just a few people, you can talk about who's the senior partner, what kind of specialization to do. And you can have a link right here to more details so that people can actually talk to or understand more about what you do. And coming here, you have why choose Mike and John personal injury and accident lawyers. So this section right here is where you can pitch about what is your specialization, what kind of specific work you do, or what is your USP, what is special about your firm, because you want to stand up, or I say look better than the competition, which you obviously already are. So 4 different sections. We've designed this template in mind. You can definitely customize this according to you. So no fees unless you win. That means pay to win basis. Multi-billions in recoveries. We already covered that. Thousands of happy clients. Very important. We are undefeated. This is a very good point. If you are undefeated as a lawyer, I think that's a great USP, that, okay, nobody has, or anytime somebody has hired you, you've gotten a settlement for them. So this is very important. Then recognized by, maybe you've appeared in the media, in the press, or maybe recognized by some firm in your area which covers law firms. You can highlight all those sections right here. Then you have other or our areas of practice. Now, personal injury lawyer can be divided into multiple different sections. So you have car accidents, truck accidents, personal injury, defective products, worker compensation, dog bites, and maybe any other kind of different kinds of personal injury sections. So you can have sections right here. And if you specialize in more sections, you can either reduce them or increase these section. The customization part is really easy with the Gutenberg or the blog editor. So it's pretty easy. Then you have a client story. You can talk about the clients that you worked with, maybe a recent win that you've gotten for a client, and you've gotten them really good amount of compensation which helped them through their life. So you can highlight that section or highlight the customer story right here, the top priority one in the beginning with the big picture right here. Then you have 3 more sections where you can highlight more stories from your potential customers, or I say your already existing customers, but potential, I'd say, social proof for future customers. Coming down here, you have, again, the most important part, getting in touch with you. You have a big phone number right here, and also a form added here so that people can get in touch with you. And again, you have the footer, which can be customized with Astra's head and footer builder. And you have the logo right here. The sections that we have defined by default with this template are your address, your social media, about us, that means all the pages that we talked about in the header, practice areas, which individual pages you can definitely link to them, and also the working hours. And if you're a local business, if you operate in a local area, I would also recommend you also check out one of our products. It's called Schema Pro. Let me open up the website. And what this does, or what this product does, is add the appropriate metadata to website in terms of schema. So if you want to say appear in Google rich results or Google My Business results with this page, or then you have to add some kind of data or schema to your website, and you can do this with this product, and definitely all different kinds of schema. And we have a complete playlist on all the different kinds of schemas, demonstrations, complete thing. And I'll just leave a link down in the description and also in the I button above, so you can check it out. Just a brief detour, but I thought it was important if you're a local business to highlight this point as well. Now, coming to the next few pages, we have the first page, which I already covered. So most important pages, or I'd say most important things on the homepage are already covered. Your call to action, what you do, what is your existing work, what are your clients, what are your specialties, everything is covered on the home page itself. Let's talk about some other pages. First, let's go to the about page. And no points for guessing what the about page is about. About page is about you. That means you as a firm, maybe you as a lawyer, if you're a single person, or maybe just a couple of lawyers working at a firm. So this is where you talk about yourself rather than the kind of work you do. what's your history? Maybe you got an education from a prestigious law firm, or sorry, a law school, and then you've been working, or you worked with a big ticket law firm, and you want to talk about what your philosophy is, what your mindset is when you're dealing with clients, or when you represent some clients. So all of this can be highlighted right here, and you can add a picture right here with a beautiful looking section or beautiful design section. And then also, if you've gotten some press recently for some good work you've done, you can also highlight this here. And if you have a firm that has a rich history, you can use this section to highlight that history, how you got started, maybe you grew over time, you started with just one lawyer, and then you specialized in personal injury over time. So this is a great section to highlight all of that. And again, one more compelling section to tell people why they should approach you, or why should they hire you against the competition. And then again, you have a beautiful section to highlight some social proof. Then same section that I showed you on the homepage, call to action with a free consultation, call to action, phone number, and complete contact form that people can use to get in touch with you. This is the about page. Let's also look at the attorneys page. Now, attorneys page, again, it's very simple to understand what the attorneys page is about. It's all about what attorneys you have at your firm and whether they specialize, or what fields they specialize in a personal injury segment. Now, if you use this template for a different kind of law firm, definitely you can customize it according to your needs. So you have a bunch of different, I'd say, templated or I'd say demonstration lawyers already created for you. So you have 6 different lawyers. So we have Mike Harris, who specializes in personal injury and who's also the managing partner. You have John Miller for car and truck accident. You have someone for personal injury lawyer, and then you have one for defective product lawyer. You have one for workers' compensation, and also one lawyer for wrongful death lawyer. So this is a great important section to use, because law is very specific, and the kind of lawyers that you want to work with, or people want to work with, need to specialize in a particular segment if they expect to win, or if they want to have the best chances at winning the case. So this is a great place to talk about not only what lawyers you have on file, or what lawyers do you work with at a firm, but also what specializations they have as personal lawyers or as lawyers. So this is a great page designed completely for you. And again, call to action right here, most important part, call to action on any website, especially with lawyers, as I mentioned earlier. And again, you can highlight specifics about particular cases that is public information, or that you can share with the visitors of your website, what kind of compensation you've recovered for what kind of case you fought for them. So this is again a great looking page, and also beautiful design, very professional typography and professional looking colors, very on point. So this is a page where you can use all this information and highlight all this information. Now, coming to the next page, which is the practice areas. Now, this attorneys page was about attorneys, and now we'll talk more specifics about what kind of work you do, what kind of practice you have, and what are your specializations. So here you talk about, again, as I mentioned, talk about specifics on what kind of law you practice, or what laws you specialize in. So since this is a personal injury template or personal injury lawyer template, you have car accidents, truck accidents, personal injury, defective products, worker compensation, dog bites, slip and falls, and wrongful death. Now, these sections are just for demonstration. You can definitely add more if you like. You can reduce them if you are a very special lawyer, or you specialize in a very specific segment, and you don't have a lot of, I'd say, workers, or a lot of other lawyers working with you. So you have the complete control over if you want to increase this or decrease this, or just add 2, 3. So that's completely up to you. The template is completely customizable on that segment. And then these are just the headings, and down here you can add more information about what kind of specialization, or what kind of information you can share with the I'd say potential customers, to understand, or to help them understand what is your expertise in a particular area. So we have sections right here. So you have an image that represents car accident, just drives the point across. You have truck accident, you have personal injury, then you have defective products. All the things that I just talked about in this section, you can have, or you have dedicated sections where you talk about them specifically. So this is the practice areas page, and again, you have call to actions added to every bottom of the page, because that's the most important part of any effective website. But for a lawyer website, as I mentioned, it's one of the most important parts. So this is the practice areas section or page. Let's go to the next page, which is the results page. So in the results page, we talk about specific results you've gotten for your clients. So as we said, or as we saw on the homepage, as a template, we said billions of dollars recovered. So you highlight that information, because as a potential customer who suffered some sort of personal injury, they are looking to get compensated by either the firm, maybe by the other party that was involved in an accident, because they want to be compensated for the losses that they have maybe they experience some sort of mental trauma, maybe they experience some sort of physical trauma, maybe they're out of work. So they want to be compensated with enough money so that they can be assured that, okay, they are not losing out on anything in their life. So this is one of the most important sections where you can highlight what you have done or what kind of cases you've done. And if you want, if you specialize in multiple fields, you can talk about, similar to the template is shown, for particular segments, how much money you've recovered for combined for clients. For example, if you have worked with a lot of truck injuries, then you can just have a segment right here where you can say, okay, we have recovered $100 million or maybe $90 million, $50 million for truck accidents, and again $120 million for work compensation. So it's just gives one more reason for your potential visitors or your potential customers to trust you and understand what kind of work you've done and what your history, and it just puts a number to your success, right? So it's just an easy way to convince your potential customers that, okay, you've done some great work and you specialize in the kind of job you do. Because if you've got recovered a lot of money, that means you've been really successful at winning these cases, and that's the point of this entire page, right? So coming to the contact page, no points for guessing. Once again, what's on the contact page, or what's the context, or I say what's the goal of a contact page or a contact us page. The goal of contact page is for people to get in touch with you, and goal is to make it as easy as possible for people to get in touch with you. And this page does exactly that. It has contact information right up front. So just scroll 1 second, or let's say just a bit, and you have bright information. You have the address, phone number, email, and business working hours, and also a simple contact form right here. So your visitors just have to enter their names, email address, phone number, and basic description of their case, and just click this button right here, get help now, and then you will get a message on the back of the website, and you'll have all the information to get in touch with them and then hire them or let them hire you as a potential lawyer for you. And also we have the Google, let's say listing, or I say the address embedded, Google map embedded, and this is an interactive map. What I mean by that is this is completely dragging and droppable, and also if you press Control on Windows and potentially Command on Mac and scroll with your mouse wheel, you can also zoom in and zoom out of the map. That means your visitors or your potential customers will be able to do that. All you have to do is to go into the backend and just change this address, and the pin you see right here will be pointed exactly to your address. So you don't have to do anything apart from just changing this address to adapt this to your template. And this is again a great way to, I'd say, attract customers and remove the friction, so that if they know exactly where your location is, they can easily find you. And if you want to, you can also use WP Schema or Schema Pro, as I mentioned, to add your address as part of your website's metadata. So whenever somebody searches by your name, if you're gaining popularity and people are searching you by your firm's name, then all this information can be pulled in directly on Google search directly without having to come to your website as well. So that's also a great way to have more customers or increase the likelihood that people will get in touch with you. So that's all about the Mike and John, or I say the personal injury lawyer template. And I hope you understood, and I'd say everything that I was talked about was clear to you. And let's also talk about the next template. So the next template that we are looking at is once again a lawyer template, and the first template or the second template in this video that I showed you about the lawyer specifically was a personal injury lawyer template. But this one, or this template, is more like a specialized, or I'd say more of a general law firm template, or a law firm that specializes in a lot of different areas. Now definitely you can customize this template or the previous template to suit your needs if you're a law firm, but just giving you some details about what the team intended or the design team intended when they created this design. Now, the same things that applied to the first lawyer template also apply here. And the things that I talked about was a law firm's website has to be really on point, and it has to be really effective from the first point, because it's very competitive in the search results and also as paid media if you attract users to your website. So your website has to do the job very quickly. And the team has just nailed this. Look at the beautiful design. It just appeals or screams law to you because you just see the beautiful image in the background and the kind of logo it has and the kind of typography it has. Everything just gives you an appeal of that this is a law firm website. And the transparent header just looks beautiful. You have a logo right here, you have the header, and you have the request appointment button, CTA right here, which is very important because you want your users or your visitors to quickly get in touch with you as soon as possible. Then you have a beautiful heading right here, which you can replace with your details about what kind of work you do, maybe your name and where your location is. And you have a free review button right here, a free reviews text right here, and a phone number so that people can get in touch with you. Very important. Above the fold, if you see right here, there are two important things, or I'd say three important things that are happening. Your identity is made very clear. You have all the different pages or access to different pages, and also two call to actions for people to get in touch with you. This is very important because above the fold content, or this is the first screen that your users might be visiting, and it's very important to drive the point across instantly on the first look. And this template does the job well. Let's also look at what the rest of the template looks like. I'll scroll quickly and just give you first an idea of what the template looks like, and then we'll talk about some specifics. As you can see, the template is beautifully designed, and it has a very consistent look to the images and consistent look to the typography and everything, which is, of course, our team of designers do a really good job at designing these templates. So no surprises there. Now, coming to the section just below the first section, or the header above the full section, you have a specific place where you can talk about what kind of firm you are, or you can talk about some USPs that you do. Here you have an image, beautiful looking image. You can place this with maybe your managing partner or the CEO of the company, depending on how your firm is structured. And then what the team has done, which is a new thing, that they have started giving more descriptive text on what you should replace the text with. So you don't have to guess what you have to replace the text with. They've actually given you a description. So let me just read it out for you. A descriptive paragraph that tells clients how good you are and proves that you are the best choice that they've made. So just to give you an idea of what this paragraph is, the text is already included here. So my job is made easier. I just have to tell you that, okay, just read this text and replace the text with whatever your firm stands for, whatever your firm's done, and what your USPs are. Jokes aside, this is a great place to highlight what about your information about you, what you do, how you got started, maybe 5 years of experience and defining success. You can talk about the number of cases you won and all the different good stuff. Coming right here, we have some logos right here, which you can replace with logos where maybe you have worked with different big firms, maybe you've been featured in the press. So whatever social proof you want to share right here, you can just replace these logos. And coming to the practice areas, again, as I mentioned, this law firm template might be useful, or might be used by, or can be used by, a law firm that specializes in a lot of different cases if you have a lot of lawyers working for you. So the template features these set of, I'd say, specialization areas: divorce and separation, grandparent rights, child custody, domestic violence, marriage and civil unions, adaptation and surrogacy, and property settlements. And then we have a link right here which you can link to any page that talks about other practice areas that you have, if you have more. And definitely everything, as I mentioned, is customizable. So you can add one more section if you want to. You can replace this, maybe just have 4 of these sections right here. So that's completely up to you. Don't think that, okay, I have to mention 7 specialities if I just have 4. You can definitely customize this. This is a completely template built completely with the Gutenberg or the blog editor. So you don't need any page builders for this as well. Coming right here, we again have a beautiful looking image with some exciting, or I say interesting, social proof. Or this is technically not social proof, but this is more like sharing your success, kind of a humble brag, if I would say. And then you can talk about what kind of client consultings you've done, how many cases, or what your success rate is, which is very important for law firms, that what percentage of cases do you take which you actually win, how many attorneys have worked for you, and then how many what is the recovered cost, which is very important, because ultimately a successful case might also lead to financial compensation for your clients. So how much money have you recovered for your clients is also an important number that you can highlight to attract an audience. So this is the section where you do exactly that. You can talk about what your firm does, what is the kind of track record, what is the upcoming fees, or I say transparent fees, or whatever things that you think that are exciting, interesting, or unique about your law firm, and then you can highlight everything here. Then again, call to action, you can have a phone number so that people can dial you, or you can request an appointment, or users can request an appointment by clicking this button right here. So beautiful, again, simple, bold, strong call to action right in your face. It's difficult to ignore, I'd say impossible to ignore once you scroll through the section. And then you have your client success stories. I would say this is also some sort of, it's not social proof, but again, one more important element where your customers might talk about you, that how your law firms have helped them, or how easy or how great what it was to deal with you. And this is where you can highlight that. So as you can say, we've included a couple of testimonials right here, and then you can change this to maybe something else, or you can include one or more. Or if you have a really important and specific testimonials, you can just highlight that here. And a beautiful looking image. And the layout or the images consistency, that is really exciting to me. Just look at how consistent all these images look while being so different. And this is one of the beautiful things about this template. Everything looks very consistent and professional. So coming down here, we have the footer, which you can definitely customize. We've included some basic information about contact details, what practices you have. This is the footer which you can customize with the Astra's header footer builder. So this is the first page. Let's also talk about the about page. And as I've talked about or said multiple times, the about page is about about the law firm that you or the website is about. And look at the parallax effect right here. It just looks very interesting to me. Parallax effect, just to tell you that the image does not scroll when you scroll. So it just gives an interesting 3D effect to the website. And this is included in the template. So again, you have the About Us section talking about you. So what you do or what you have, what you've done, all is technically or falls under About You. So what kind of attorneys you have, what kind of experience you have in terms of total law experience, with including all your attorneys, what kind of award and certificate you have. Maybe you want to add more sections here, so you can talk about how many cases you've done, how much settlement you've recovered, and what is great, or what is some thing or some numbers or something that defines success of your law firm. You can include right here. Then you talk about maybe you want to highlight a specific attorney from your firm. Then you have the section right here. And definitely, if you have a kind of I'd say an advocate that's really successful, or advocate that's really popular in their area, or even nationally, then you should definitely advertise them as part of your firm. And you can duplicate this section, create more of these if you want to highlight more than one attorney in your firm. So this is just one section where you can talk about the specific attorney and what kind of job they do and how they've helped the community, and any success or special high profile cases that are worked on. Again, coming here, you have the About Us section, or the section where you talk about your firm's history, not your personal attorney's history. So a firm, how it got started, the law school, or where your attorneys are from, what certificates you have, bar admissions, and all the good stuff that is important to law firms. And just again, the consistency of the design of the images is what is looking really exciting to me. And I personally like it very much. Then you have the call to action, which is again very important for a law firm. And then going to the next page, which is the practice area. Now, no surprise here. On this page, we'll talk about specific areas that your law firm specializes in. Again, you have the parallax effect right here. And then coming right here, you have the section right here talking about why you need top lawyers, or why your law firm is the best to deal with the specific practice areas that you will talk about. Again, you have a section right here where you start talking about the practice areas that you specialize in. And again, as I mentioned, you can reduce this section, you can increase the section, and you can include more sections if you are a really big law firm, you have a lot of attorneys specializing in specific care. Then coming down here, you have the option of, or I said, you have this section where you can highlight more details about what you've done, or how you specialize, or what attorney specializes in what areas. So you have the individual sections created for all these different practice areas that you specialize in, and you have the option of reordering them. Maybe you want to include a couple of extra sections. That's completely possible. Just duplicate the sections from the block editor. Then you have the call to action. So this is a simple page, but you can utilize this, or I would say this is a very important page that a lot of visitors will be looking at. So make sure that include the information that is really important to your firm. For example, if you separate or specialize in 8 different areas, but you might be really strong, or a couple of lawyers might be really, really strong in maybe property rights or property settlements, then highlight those sections right here and talk about what or how you specialize in those areas. Coming to the FAQ section, FAQ is about frequently asked questions. So that users, if they have any doubts, they can just come to this page and then have most of their questions answered. So you can add this FAQ section, or you can just change these questions to whatever you feel like. And one more thing I would like to highlight, this is very important. A lot of times this is a very ignored feature on business websites specifically. Give me a second. Let me open a website. And the thing I'm talking about is adding some structured data to your website. Now, you might have observed this, that whenever you Google something, that you might get some rich results from it. So if you have FAQs on your website, these all should also be added as a structured data to your website. And for that, you can use our plugin Schema Pro, which is this plugin right here, which adds, or just makes your job a lot easier, and it's very easy to use. And we have done a ton of tutorials on it. So instead of diverting this video to exactly Schema Pro or just talking about it, I'll just leave links down in the description to a playlist that we have created for all the features in Schema Pro. And specifically, I'll highlight a video about the FAQ schema so that you can include this on your page as well. So coming to the FAQ page, this is obviously, again, I already mentioned it. What is the FAQ, or what are the most common questions that your users might have? It's easy to just address them upfront instead of your user having to figure it out, because if they don't get the answer, they might just go to a competing law firm if they have answered that question perfectly. So this is a great place to just highlight that. And again, you have one beautifully designed section for, again, reinforcing what your firm is great for, or what your firm is known for. And then you have the call to action for people to get in touch with you. So great place. People can just come and have the questions answered and immediately just get in touch with you and book an appointment. And specifically, we also have the contact page. If your users have or they don't look at the specific section where we've reinforced multiple times that they can get in touch with you, then they can come to the contact page specifically where you have mentioned all the details with this beautiful section right here: social media icons, working hours, contact details, and also a form for people to send you a message. And you also have the Google Map listing, which you can customize to your business address. So all you have to do is change the address in the backend, and this will exactly replicate to the particular area your firm is based in. And this is an interactive map I'm showing you right now. You can drag and scroll in, or as I zoom in and zoom out. So this is included with the template as well. And one more important thing about this is, if you use this page, or of course you're going to use this page, you can also include the business hours or working hours schema, the structured data and contact details schema using Schema Pro on this page or on your website. And that means if somebody maybe has heard about your firm and they just search your name, then Google can pull up the address and information or your phone number, your working hours directly in Google search without having your users or visitors to have to land to your website. And that's a great way to reduce some friction so that people can get in touch with you much faster and you can close deals faster. So this is all about the third template. Again, beautiful templates, all the three templates we've talked about, amazing templates, 2 lawyer templates, and one more template I just demonstrated to you. So it's very easy to use this template. I also leave a link down in the description so that you can understand how to use this template. It's very easy. I already mentioned it in the beginning of the video, but that's about this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you have specific requests, or if you want to see a demonstration of any specific kind of template that we have, then make sure to leave it in the comments as well. Otherwise, just subscribe to our channel, and we push out videos very regularly on this channel about WordPress and all these beautiful options with WordPress that you can use. So make sure to get subscribed and click that bell icon to the all section or all options, so that you can get notifications about new videos we upload to our channel. You were watching or listening to Yuvraj on the Brainstorm Force channel. We create videos about WordPress tutorials and all the good stuff. So get subscribed. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and stay safe.